Hi, everyone. So, there I was, minding my own business, doing some writing, figuring out what would I like to share with fellow readers over the next week or so. I was in a flow. I was listening to a podcast at the same time. My environment felt great. I had cats around me, beverages. The temperature was just right. I was appropriately caffeinated and motivated. And next thing I know, Alicia comes home, my wife, a couple hours early. Not a typical time for her to be here. And I hear her go into the bedroom. She must have changed. I hear her go into the bathroom. And then she comes into my room back here, which is where I was working. And it's obvious that she had just gotten a haircut because she had a damp washcloth and was like wiping the fucking excess hair, like the little pieces of hair that like just stick to you after you get a haircut. She was like wiping that off of her face and her head and onto my fucking floor. And she was just staring at me as she was standing in my room doing this. Oh, hold on. You may leave. Okay, hold on. Keep it moving, little lady. Thank you. Jeez, must be my voice or something. The cats either want to leave or like come in when they hear me talking. But anyways, that was bitchy. She wanted to leave. Um, where was that? Yes. So she's just like staring at me, and I am just looking at her. And finally, I'm like, "Are you gonna say something? You came in here." And she just informed me that she had gotten a haircut and she came home to change, and she was on her way to therapy. And that there was a present out there for me, something that she had ordered that came in the mail, which I appreciated and I knew about. And I went out there and I said thank you. And at least she acknowledged that, sorry the tornado was here, um, but you can go back to what you were doing or something. And then, her reasoning for not giving me a heads up. So, like, look, I'm not a control freak. Like, well, I am, but like more for my own stuff. But like when I start the week, I want the week to fucking go the way I want it to go as much as possible, whenever possible. So like here I am. Like I just described the scene. I set the stage for you. I set the scene for you, whatever the fuck. And she comes in and just destroys the atmosphere without a fucking warning. And I had just asked her, like, you guys, I have been married to her for it'll be 9 years this year. I had to do the math. I have dyscalculia. We've known each other for like almost 15 years now. And I found out about the tism like 4 years back. So I've had language, I've had words, I have been direct. I have asked, hey, I need to have like just a heads up if like there's something that like a significant change to the day's routine. And this would be significant for her just coming home before like I'm used to seeing her. And I've explained many a time why I'm making this request, because like it just derails me, because here I am, not that like I'm complaining even though it sounds like I am, but like I'm recording an episode. I wasn't planning on doing that today because like Mondays are like where I do the majority of my fucking writing now. Like huh. So I can't now because the atmosphere was ruined by the tornado that came into the home. And so she goes, this is what she said. I was backing up and I went to call you to let you know that like I was coming home early so that you would be prepared. But the car wouldn't let me make the car as I was backing up. And then I just drove off. That's what she said. And I said, so you're not allowed to make phone calls when you put the car in drive? That was the, like, in your mind, that was your only chance? Like, you back up for like 2 seconds? What the fuck? There was no answer for that because she knew that sounded dumb. like, what? Okay, that's what your brain told you. Okay, I guess I'll have to accept that. But that doesn't make any sense to me. And so I'm just going to politely remind her later when she gets home and she's all settled in and she's been here for a while, like, hey, I just need a fucking heads up. Because, like, here's the funny part. She acts like that was the only time she had to let me know that she was on her way. Well, what about the when you found out that you were going to leave work early to get the haircut? Or like like when you got to the place where you were getting the haircut and you were waiting and like, and no time to text me? Nothing? No? No time then? This makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand brains that work like that. Like, that doesn't seem like it's working. But whatever, whatever. Okay, whatever. And I can only say this because I know that I am a tornado in my own ways, which is like usually most nights when she's trying to go to sleep and I go into the bedroom and she likes her cuddles and I don't, but this is what we do. And we have a bargain. You get cuddles as long as you talk to me a little bit. Give me some words. 'Cause I get bored, like, I need something for my brain. So, we go in there, and as she's getting tired, I feel myself getting my second wind, because her bedtime that she gives herself is, like, around 9 o'clock usually during the week, and so I don't go to bed till, like, 4, so it's weird. She gets tired, I get awake, and then I start talking a lot, and so I know I'm a little tornado in my own way, but I just needed to say that. So here I am, just gonna give up on writing for right now to record this episode. Um, I mentioned that this week I have a doctor's appointment, and I don't now. It got rescheduled. Um, there's this new system that Alicia's working on within her hospital. Oh, how do I say? It's a new electronic medical record thingy, and she happens to be good with stuff like that, and she likes systems, and so she's one of the point people that, if you've got a problem, you don't understand something, go to her. She's going around her clinic, like teaching people how to use it, and so like the doctor that she got me was within her hospital system. Well, for some reason that messed up my appointment and now I can't have it this week and it got rescheduled to next month. So, um I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of happy about that because yeah, I do want a new doctor and stuff, but at the same time, like I don't want to go to any appointments ever. And I'm not sad about it. It's not like anything like dire needed to happen today or tomorrow because that's when the appointment was going to be. So I have another month. And I am very pleased about that. Like, because you know how it goes when you have appointments coming up. It's not just the day before that you think about it, it's like a week out. It's like a ding in your brain. And then, like, a couple of days later, it's another ding. Like, ding, 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 you got this coming up. And then you start thinking about it more. And, like, that's annoying in and of itself. I hear my mouth sounds. Excuse me, I must ingest water. Anyways, so the other day on Saturday, we drove down and took our nieces Bella and Madeline and our nephew James on a nature hike. Um, James is 14 and we don't see him as often because like his dad, this is so weird, the family dynamics. So like his dad lives 30-second walk, like lives basically next door. Like this is in like farm area or country or woods or whatever the fuck it's called. He basically lives next door to the girls' mothers and like the girls, but they don't really talk to each other. So, and this particular brother has a few different children, all with different mothers, and he needs therapy. It's just, so, anyways, James is his kid and he doesn't really have a whole lot to do with his kid. And James's mom lives like I don't know how far away, like half an hour away. I don't fucking know, but he's not there all the time. And when he is there, he stays with Alicia's mom, and he's got his own room there, which used to be his dad's room. It's just weird. But anyways, so we don't get to see him that often because the timing is, it's always like hit or miss if he's up. And if he is, he's like off doing something or whatever. But anyways, so this was like the first time that we took him and the girls together with us to go do something. And so we went to this school. It's like in a small town, and the school has K through 12, which to me is weird and also interesting to be able to, like, I don't know, like, imagine being an adult and you're like, yeah, there's the school that I went to, it was all grades under one roof. Like, I can't even imagine that, but that's how tiny the town is. But the cool thing about the school is the it's just so beautiful where it is. It's all woods area. It's waterfalls, there's nature trails. It's just a very like pretty. I just love it. Um and that was one of the first places that me and Alicia went to when we first got together way back in the day. And we realized we finally had somebody that we liked being with and spending time with and going and doing things with. So we were always like going to state parks and this and that and just exploring. And that was one of the first places we went to explore. And it's a really cozy area. But, anyways, that's where we took the kids. So we get there, and I'm just going to say I had a great time. And I want that to be in your mind as I tell this story. I did. Overall, I had a great time. Um, Sorry if you heard the mouth sound, but the exercise part, the hiking part with children, fucking torture. Again. This was worse than Green Lakes a few weeks back or whenever the fuck that was, a month back. This was so much worse. So, like, to get to the good part of this, like, nature area, you have to go down behind the school. There's, like, a path, and it's in the woods. And then you had to get to, like, so, how do, oh, man, I suck at describing things. So you go to the path, and then somebody built this huge wooden staircase that goes all the way down. I don't know how the fuck they were able to build this staircase. It's like on a hillside in mountain. Like, I don't know how they did it. It's sturdy, but like a staircase really shouldn't be there. But somebody thought that that little enclosed waterfall area was so beautiful that other people had to get to it. So they built a staircase. And so we go down that, no big deal. But then we're into like how do I describe this? So there's like mini waterfalls, it's like alcoves, it's like an enclosed like area where all the water is shallow. It's how many, I don't know, it's not big. It's big enough, but not big. And there were not tons of people there. There were only a few other people there when we got down there. And then they left. And then we were down there for like, I don't know, half an hour before another set of people came down. So it was not populated at all, which was great. And I am the kind of person that I know this is going to jump around like usual, but whatever. I don't like getting dirty. I don't mind hiking. That's fine. I'm used to sweating, whatever. I have POTS and I have menopause and I have all the things. So I take anti-nausea pills now when I go on hikes because otherwise um, it's not going to go well. And so I did all that. I just don't like getting dirty. And so, like, the kids wanted to go in the water, which, duh, you're a kid, of course. That's what lots of kids like to do. I never was one of those kids. My mom used to take me and my brother to the beach. I fucking hated it. She would make us play, like, in the sand, in sand castles. It was like, it felt like a performance. Like, oh, this is what parents are supposed to do with their kids. Take them to the beach and make them like, they build sandcastles and like they go in the water and da 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 da. And I hated it because sensory wise, it fucking sucked. I don't like how sand feels touching my feet or any part of my body. I don't like that it gets caked on and how that feels. I never liked going into the water. And then I just don't like any of how that feels on my body. I never did, never, I still don't. And I would tell her with whatever words came to mind and however I could describe it. I told her I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I don't like playing in the sand. You know, I would think that at the very least, if you're a parent and your kid keeps telling you, I don't like this, I don't want to, shouldn't you fucking listen? But no, that bitch never did. Um, God, there was nothing about a beach experience that I liked. And I was never one to go to the park and like, sure, I played on the monkey bars and did that stuff, but there were limits. Like, I wouldn't just sit in dirt and play like other kids did. I thought that was gross. So I had standards, and I just, that's what happened. So here I am with Alicia, and we got three kids, and Madeline and James are besties. They're like in the water already, like flopping around, yelling, playing, having a grand old time. Bella being a bit older, she's in the water, but just kind of observing. So, like, she's mini mom, basically, worrying about the kids, being a mini parent when she doesn't have to be. So, I'm slowly trying to chip away at that in non obvious ways and sometimes obvious ways. Like, dude, be a kid, you know? It's okay, go have fun. Easier said than done. But so that's what she's doing. Alicia's sitting down, watching all of our stuff or whatever. And then I was across the way. So basically, um, sorry if you hear me playing with something. Why am I playing with? I just broke my magnet. Whatever, my book magnet. Um. Okay, so I took my shoes. So like to get to where they were, I had to cross water, and they all did it. Alicia just did it with her shoes on. The other kids, like that one had James had water shoes. Um, I think the girls, I think just walked over with like their feet or whatever. So like this is shale. Do you guys know what the fuck shale is? I do now. I didn't before, but I do now. So I'm standing there by myself and I'm thinking, I don't want to get my socks wet. I don't want to get my shoes wet. This is gross. But yet I don't want to just be over here by myself because that looks weird. So I was like, let me just do something I don't want to do. Like I can do it, right? So I took my shoes off, I took my socks off, and then I started the trek across. It's just a small little like area of water, like maybe 15, 20 feet just to get to where they were. But you had to cross through the water to get over there. And I did it. And as soon as I took the first couple of steps, it was the worst feet pain I've ever had in my entire life because I was stepping on shale and it fucking hurt. And my feet felt like, I don't know, what is the thinnest paper in the world? That's what it felt like. Like there was no barrier between that and my muscle, and like it was just painful. And in the moment, what flashed in my mind was like those fucking memes where, you know, those memes that somebody like it's just like I don't know, maybe it's a cartoon dog drinking a cup of coffee, sitting in a burning dumpster, and then the words, "This is fine." Those kinds of memes. That's what popped into my head. Like, this is fine. No big deal. I'm having all this pain. And it was one of those choices where I just decided I'm just going to keep going instead of just stop and turn back and like reevaluate. I just kept going. And it was not unlike the time that I drove too close to the side of my friend's house, and so the whole side of my car scraped along the side of the building. And instead of stopping, as soon as I heard the first horrible noises of what that sounded like, I kept going. And I did it the whole way down. I didn't just stop. So I just kept going. And it was so painful. It was embarrassing. It took forever. But I did it and I was so proud of myself. And then I plopped down and I was like, what am I supposed to do at this point? So, anyways, so that was big for me to do that. And then Madeline and James wanted to go down to the other area where you have to go down. Like, it's like kind of like a hill with rocks and stuff. And it's in the water and it's got moss. And like you go down and it's just like this other like water area. And it's all shallow. And those two wanted to go over there. Well, Alicia's not one for following kids around very quickly, and I move a little bit faster. So I was just like, I guess I'll just go do it. So I went and I followed them. And this time I just went into the water with my shoes and socks. I was just wearing them and I just accepted that this was my life. And I was like, I'm not walking on the fucking shale with bare feet anymore. I'm not fucking doing it. No. I'm just, here's I'm sacrificing my shoes. And I followed the kids, and Bella came with me. And then Alicia was just sitting over there. And then Madeline and James went down the hill. This was like, I don't know, 10 feet down. I don't know how to describe things, but like, you guys, I don't have, so I've been eating bacon for months now because like I get nauseous eating other things. Like I can eat other things, but not like a wide variety of stuff. Just because the changes in my body from like decreasing my meds and like POTS affects me and the temperatures affect me and I'm trying to figure my shit out. So I've just been eating bacon like when I'm hungry most of the time. So I have very weak body. I have a bacon body. Not by looks, but by feels. So I feel like I need more protein because I guess there's not as much protein in baking as I thought there was. Like only 4 grams per slice. That's it. What? So I struggled, but I went down the hill. Um, I got wet. I fell into the water all the way in the disgusting algae water. Ooh, I couldn't see down. Like it was like kind of murky and it was disgusting. It was a terrible sensory experience, but I did it. I needed to go follow them, keep them within my eyesight because I'm at least responsible in that aspect. And then Bella followed me. She didn't want to go down there, but she knows that I'm not like a super responsible adult. And I guess I don't know how irresponsible she thinks I am, but maybe she thought she needed to keep an eye on me because she didn't want those two to go down there. So basically, what was happening was like, this is a scenario where if they went with their mom would not have let them go down there. Their mom would have kept a tight leash on them. Their mom would have like just kind of put a blanket over the fun, you know? Don't have too much fun, and you must stay right here. Like they're fucking teenagers. Hello? Teenagers go on hikes by themselves all the time. Like, yeah, there's water, but it was shallow. There's two of them. There was a total of five of, like, I don't know, of us, but I mean, the mom wasn't there. Obviously, we left her home. Like, no fucking way were we inviting her. Not that she would want to go, but anyways, so that's what I did, okay? It was a terrible sensory experience, but I did it because, like, I have to keep an eye on the kids, you know, because we are responsible for them. But also, at the same time, I wanted to challenge myself to, like, let's just do something that you really don't want to do. And because what it was starting to feel like also was, you know, when you go to a prison and you're just one of the guards standing around. I don't like to call them COs because there's nothing correctional happening at those facilities. It's all bullshit. They're just nobody. There's no correctional officer. They're just not, you know, like no. But like I felt like a guard just watching the inmates. And I just it felt weird. Just here's two adults watching the kids have fun, not participating. And I didn't want both of us to be doing that. Does that make any sense? It just felt weird. Like, oh, you guys go have fun, but I don't want to participate. And like I didn't because that would require getting wet and dirty and all kinds of shit. I just have to check my time. Okay. Getting a little bit longer these days, these episodes. Sorry. But anyways, I did it. It was terrible, but I did it. Oh my God. And then when we were ready to leave and we had to go up that fucking hill, so I only went down it thinking that there was an 80% chance I was going to be able to get back up because like when I say I felt weak, that's not a lie. I struggled, and when you're in water and I had shorts and a t-shirt and my shoes, everything was heavy on me. My shorts were falling off, my ass was hanging out in the air. It was like embarrassing. So I go to like crawl up this like hill thing. There, you know, how do I describe this? A mini mountain. It was a struggle to get up. Like, I guess it's not like a hill, but like it was a struggle. And I couldn't do it on my legs because my legs gave out. So I'm on my knees and my elbows and I'm walking on them. And that's how I'm getting myself up these rocks, up this fucking like hill thing to get to flat area. And it was embarrassing. The whole way up, I was laughing my ass off at how ridiculous this was, at how weak I was, at how all of my wife has been saying you need to eat more than bacon. You need protein. You need protein. All these months she's been saying this. And that moment I was like ding ding ding, she's right. She was right this whole time because like I'm so fucking weak right now and I couldn't stop laughing at that and it felt like hilarious for some reason. And so like I'm a little bit more than halfway up. I look over to my right and what do I see? I see fucking scrawny ass James just walking as if he were walking on water, just walking up next to me, no big deal. And I just like, I remember it was just like, I felt like I was outside of my body. And I looked up at him and I had moss on my elbows and knees. I was bleeding. I had scrapes. And I looked up at him as he was like floating on by me. And I said, fuck you. Fuck you. He started laughing. It's like, no way, this kid just did this, and I'm struggling so much. And so he comes back down and he just stands next to me. He's like instructing me, okay, put your elbow here, now do this, now do that. Oh my God, it was hilarious. Hilarious. The non hilarious part was seeing my wife record me the whole way. That wasn't fun. But the good news is the waterfall drowned out most of the crap that came out of my mouth because I was just like, my bacon body, oh my God, my bacon body's failing me, my bacon body, help, how am I gonna do this? Help me. Oh my God, I need to eat more than bacon. I was like losing my shit. It was crazy. It was a weird experience, but I had a good time and I feel so in shape. It's like crazy. What a workout. Torture, 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 torture. That was something else. I started my day out thinking this was just going to be a nice fun activity that we got to go do together. The kids got out, they got to go do something. We come home, yay, great Saturday. And I swear, like it never goes as planned because I end up doing something that like just I embarrass myself. I'm like, I can't believe, like, I can't, I'm falling in front of these children that, like, I just, if you were there, oh my God, good thing I'm not a parent, but they seem to enjoy it. So I guess that's all that's important. And what else? James is super autistic. That kid is so autistic. Um, we're in the car. I brought my headphones just to wear. There was no music in them. I wasn't listening to anything, but I needed to take the edge off of all the screaming that Madeline and James were doing in the back. I don't know. Bella must be used to it. She just deals with it, but I had to take the edge off. And like James is back there and I'm listening to him and Madeline talk and it's like this dialect. It's so fascinating. He does these noises, these click sounds with his mouth. There's lots of echolalia going on. There's lots of movie references. There's lots of he plays like he does gaming. So he speaks in gaming references and like something about POV this and POV that. And it was so fascinating. And so I'm just like, because, we went to go get pizza. We went to a couple of places and I'm just listening to him and Madeline. I'm like, this is so fucking fascinating. And they understand what each one is saying, they understand what they're implying. And it's hard for me to follow, and I'm trying my best, but I'm like, wow, they each make noises too. Like Madeline does some of the, it's just, I've never heard two kids converse this way before. It was so fascinating. And then, like, James was realizing that, like, oh, because we don't see him so often. So he's realizing that, like, we're kind of like normal people as far as you guys can just be yourselves. If you want to talk loud, talk loud. That's why I brought my headphones. And we don't care if they swear. Like, I'm not a fan of kids swearing, but we were okay with them doing it because You wanted to do it when you were a kid, didn't you? Like, I wanted to swear, so what's the big deal? And we laid the rules, which was just don't do it when we're out in public because we don't want people looking at us like we're the fucking like pride family with feral children. That's what Alicia had described it as. And so she's like, when we're out and there's people around, don't swear, don't be doing that. But in the car, we don't care. So, and then, so as James was getting more comfortable, realizing he could just be himself, it was like, he was doing the comparison thing that the kids do, which is like, this is what we're allowing them to do, which is be themselves and do this and do that. And then the adults in their life, the other ones, just like to tamp down joy, or whatever, like, I don't know, dampen it. Like, they don't want these kids to just be too happy, it seems. And so while they're talking, it's when like he throws out different things about all of a sudden, just I was bullied in school, or this was the worst year of my life in school, or the teacher did this. And like it's just one sentence in between like other shit they're talking about. And it has nothing to do with what they're talking about, but they're throwing them out there. Madeline does it too. Then they go back to what they were talking about. I'm like, this is some weird shit. And he needs therapy too. Like he really does. Anyways, I really like James. I haven't seen him in person. Like I saw him once when I went down there about a month ago to get when we got the girls, but like before that I hadn't seen him in a couple of years because dynamics with the family down there are very weird and like it's just I felt so bad and we took them out to the stores and he had a good time and he's like, "Wow, we just get to take our time and look around." Like just regular shit that like the adults in their lives can't be bothered to like just do basic stuff with them. I don't know. Anyways, it was a good time though. Up until we got back and I go inside and we're bringing in like the stuff that we got from the stores and the leftover pizza and we're in Alicia's sister's place and Madeline was gonna go spend some time with James over at their grandma's, and she was still a little bit damp from being in the water, but it was like over 80 degrees. She was almost dry, no big deal. They were gonna be outside anyways when they went over to grandma's, and her sister, or Alicia's sister, was like, "Yeah, you gotta go change your clothes right now before you go over there." It was just the tone. It was just that's all it took for me, and I said, "I'm gonna go wait in the car. Bye." And I could tell that the sister knew, like, she was like, okay, bye. Um, like, obviously, that was a weird thing for me to do, I guess, or it seemed out of nowhere, or I don't know. But I was just like, I couldn't be there because, like, if I was there any longer, I would have started saying some shit to her. And I'm not at the point in my life yet where I trust my mouth around people like her. So I just went into the car and James thought we were like, he's like, okay, why are we out here? And I'm like, oh, how do I tell this fucking kid? I just don't want to. So I'm just like, oh, I need to get some air. But so me and James sat in the car and like he told me about stuff that bothered him and he said he wanted to spend more time with me and Alicia. And I felt sad, but I also didn't. It was weird. Like, I just wish these kids had better adults in their lives. I wish they had better parents. And, like, here's one more kid now that, like, I'm worrying about. And, like, it's not like yeah, I don't know. This it's hard to explain. There's so many fucking layers to this family that I'm still trying to uncover. And I hate kids that are, like, having to deal with things that they shouldn't have to deal with. And it just reminds me of my childhood. Like, fucking adults are something else, man. Like, stop having kids if you can't get your shit straight. Like, you cannot have kids and then tell them how to act, what to say, how to exist. You can't do this, you can't do that. Don't have too much fun. Like, yeah, be seen, but like not heard. Like, what the actual fuck is up with people? And then, we all become adults and like look what happens. I really do not like her sister. But anyways, I'm gonna be making James things now too. Like the art stuff that I make the girls. Um, I'm doing that for him too because James was kind of a last minute thing. We didn't know he was going to be down there. And so, like, the day before we found out or something, or 2 days before. So I was like, I don't have anything prepared for him, and I don't want to go down there and bring them their usual things that I make. So I made him a dinosaur painting because he loves his dinosaurs. And I had stencils of like different dinosaurs. So I just did like a stencil painting and I put texture to it because he likes his sensory stuff. So, and he really liked it and he wanted to like bring it with him in his backpack when we were going out and about on Saturday. So, I thought that was cute. But um sorry, I don't like that. I can't do more for them, but I do understand that what we are doing is helpful and it does make a difference. I do get that. I just don't like that these are their lives with their shitty parents. I don't like it. But anyways, so that's that. Oh, sorry. I always feel like I almost forget to say something before the. Oh, so this is going to be a longer one. Okay. Apologies, but you're still listening, so thanks. You guys, Alicia talked to Janice finally. Um, I can't do the backstory. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. Please go listen to the other episodes if you care to. I'd appreciate that. But Alicia finally talked to her. So like when my bio birthday came on the 2nd of this month, first I get a text from Janice. It was like a happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. And I got that as I was out back doing a fire. I was also mowing. So like I'm sure she saw the wispies of smoke and she saw me out there and she knows I like my fires. And so I got that text from her. And about an hour later, I got one from Nadine that said the same thing about. And I was like, I didn't feel the need to reply. I appreciated that they sent the texts and they thought of me on my birthday. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I didn't want to reply because that's not the first point of contact I wanted to have been from them was a happy birthday. That's not what I wanted to hear the first time I heard something from them. Do you know what I mean? So I just, and then I sat there and I did well, if I don't say thank you, that's rude. Or, is Alicia going to come home and I'm going to tell her this and she's going to think that I'm just doing old behavior kind of stuff or like I'm just being a bitch, like, so I struggled with that. And then after a little bit of that, I was just like, you know what? My gut, I just do not want to reply, and that should be okay. And I need to move on and get back to mowing. And so that's how I handled that. And I tried to explain it to Alicia as best I could. Um, but anyways, so a couple days goes by and then finally like they have time and they asked for Alicia to come over because they wanted to cuz she spent that weekend dog sitting. It was a lot of work. Like that puppy had like the puppy got sick and it was like an ordeal. So like Alicia had to do extra stuff. So like they had Alicia come over the other was it Friday? No, it was Saturday. It was when we got back. We went all day with those kids. We get back. We're about ready to drop because what the fuck? How do parents do this? Oh my god. It was so much. Our brains were fried for a ride. Alicia gets into the shower. She thinks that she's going to go and be able to sit down, relax, and watch TV. And that's when she gets the text from next door. Can you come over? So I'm like laughing at her because, like, that was when she was going to go have the conversation with them about, hey, maybe text my wife when she leaves your house crying. Just something simple. That's all I was looking for. Just let them know. Not cool that you didn't do that. That's it. So she had to go deal with that. But like they wanted to pay her for like dog sitting. So, anyways, and then so Alicia's telling me that she's sitting there and what's going through her mind is, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to talk to them about this? Or am I going to chicken out? Because this is not something that Alicia does. She's not direct. She doesn't have conversations like that with people. Like, you've heard me describe like her family. It's like she comes from that family. Like, she's come a long way as far as the thinking stuff goes, but we're all still dealing with shit. Like, I'm dealing with shit, you know? So, anyways, and so, like, when she was over there and I guess having those thoughts, I was over here and I was thinking to myself, okay, just expect that when she comes back, she won't have said anything and she'll say, well, it never came up or whatever the reason is. And I was trying to convince myself, don't be pissed, don't be pissed, don't be pissed. She had a long day. She was doing this, doing that. I was just trying to prepare my brain to not spiral on me. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I fucking wanted her to say something. But at the same time, like, she doesn't do this. And she doesn't do it more often than she does. So I just expected she wasn't going to do it. That's her track record. That's her pattern. And I know it's weird. Is it weird that I'm on here talking about her like this? But I told her that I talk about her like this. So I know. I do shit too. But anyways, so to my surprise, she did say something. So Janice gave her card and some money, and then they handed her, I guess was a birthday card for me, which I was not expecting. And so they hand that to her, and Janice makes the comment, well, so this is for Angie. I guess she doesn't want to talk to us anymore. And so Alicia said that as soon as Janice said that, she goes, well, so let's talk about that. And said that Janice sat up straighter and was like, yes, let's talk about that. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a good sign. And Alicia said that she did her best to explain things. And in my opinion, she did a good job. And also, she said more than she even needed to. Because I was like, dude, you didn't have to go into therapy mode with them. Like, I wasn't trying to put all that on you. And she was like, yeah, but I was sitting there. And then it was just like, they were like, well, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know. And like, it never dawned on them to like, just check up on me, which I already knew that. But at the same time, like, that's not my problem that you don't know how to do that. But then at the same time, I'm sorry that you don't know how to do that. And I do understand it. And I do feel bad. But like, this is all fucked up. It's all fucked up. But, anyways, so Alicia said that, like, the way that she left it, they understood. And there was an understanding that it was like kind of on like maybe they should try reaching out because like Janice made the comment, well, tell Ange that, we're sorry. And Alicia goes, no, you actually need to be the one to tell her yourself. It's like, hey, wifey, good fucking job. Like, good job. Because that was so new for her, too. Oh my God. Like, I'm just going to say, my wife did a fantastic job. She had my back. She came back and she told me all this. I was like, dude, I was like, you went above and beyond the Call of Duty. And then she admitted that, like, she realizes I should have just done this to begin with. And so, like, major changes, too. Like, I was just like, my wife just threw a bunch of new surprises at me this week with her thinking and her, the fact that she said something and she went into depth about it like that. And that when we were with the kids, like my wife was going, like, be careful, when they were hiking. Like, watch out for that, watch out for this. And I was like, dude, like, they already have adults that do this. We cannot be those adults. Just remind yourself they're teenagers. They're going to fall, they're going to get hurt, they're going to, get bruises. That's what kids do. And we're here if anything goes wrong. And so she actually listened to me. And later on, she brought it up and she's like, thank you for saying that. Like, I needed to be reminded that they should just be kids. I was like, what? We actually did good with, like, we did good this weekend. Both of us did, me and my wife. But before I ended this episode, I just wanted to say and Janice had made the comment about missing our Tuesday tea times, like when I would go over there every Tuesday at noon and hang out with her for a while. And I do miss those too. So, like, now, and so then I asked Alicia, I was like, well, I guess I should text and say thank you for the birthday card and, the gift card and stuff. And normally Alicia's response would be, yeah. This time she goes, no, give it a few days, let them reach out first, see if they do that. I was like, so you want me to just have this birthday card and this gift card and like not say anything? And then Alicia's like, yeah. I was like, what? Who are you? Who are you? This is wonderful. So I don't know like how to explain like how impactful like all of this was that she did this and that like how much that helped like things between her and me because I've always wanted her to just be a little bit more direct, you know? So I just wanted to say that happened. And also, I'm really proud of myself for not doing old behavior shit, which is writing them out of my life forever. Because, like, I'm surprised that I actually would like to have visits with Janice again now, as long as she at least reaches out first. So we're still waiting for that. But, like, this is better than where it was before. I'm not trying to play games, but I'm just like, come on, Janice. You're almost fucking 80. You can do it. Just send me a text, something. You can do it. And then we can go back to having our visits. And so, like, if that can get to that point, that'll be like is that full circle the right description? Like, I don't know. But, like, I'll never have, like, made it through a rupture and repair process with, like, a friend before in a healthy way or as healthy as I can make it. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I hope it gets to where we can just be regular friends again. Life is hard, man. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you if you listened to this episode. Thank you very much. I know it was a bit long. I appreciate it. And I hope something in here was relatable. Okay, goodbye.